I hate being behind a lectern, but I'll do my best. I normally like to walk around because it helps thinking and that sort of stuff. I've been given 10 minutes, and this is a huge, huge subject. And so I thought that I'd just concentrate on one element of what we think and we know is important to us all as human beings on the planet. You know, people talk about saving the planet. I think the planet will be fine. If we don't change our behaviour, it will just eject us. Do you agree with that? And the planet will go on for another 4 billion years. It won't have a problem doing that. At the centre of the work that we do and what we've come to realise over the past, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years, is the importance of soil biology. Now, it's not something that gets talked about, you know, generally in farming circles. I've been in farming since I was 17. I'm now 78, and I decided I'd be 78 today because it rhymes with "It's Never Too Late," which is the title of a webinar that I gave for the 3LN network about a year and a half ago. I've been in farming for all that time, and the paradigm shift that saw me change the way that I felt about the totality of what I'd done during my life, it wound up with me finding that I didn't believe any of what I'd spent my whole adult life learning, working for and believing. So this was about 10 years ago, and so I am now the complete opposite of what I used to be. And I really felt that I'd spent the whole of my life wasting my time doing all the wrong stuff. I don't know if anybody can imagine what it felt like to be told that actually I'd been farming in a way which was damaging the environment when I thought I was actually really good at my job. So I am now the complete opposite of the industrial farmer that I used to be. Now, when I went to agricultural college in 1964, nobody talked about soil biology. All the smart people that I worked with throughout my farming life, the agronomists and the technologists who mentored me, none of them talked about it. And so soil biology didn't feature for me at all until we got into this business of regenerative agriculture and holistic management. So it's only been 2 or 3 years. We've been into holistic management and regen ag seriously since about 2015, so a very short time. The changes that we've seen on the farm have been absolutely mind-blowing, but what we didn't really understand was that at base level, it's the stuff underneath our feet that matters. So I'm just going to say that we are all farming degraded land, wherever we are on the planet. And there might be farmers in here who would disagree with me. The fact is that for millennia, as farmers, we've been running around the planet, ploughing and cultivating and creating bare ground. Bare ground is one of the worst things that we can create. I love to plough. Absolutely loved it. And then I found out it's the worst thing you can do to soil. Every time you turn soil over, you release carbon and you kill soil life. On top of that, you know, because we had no soil biology, and I know for a fact that we didn't have any. I don't have to go and dig around where I used to farm to find out. I know that was the case. It was sterile. So soil biology was the one missing link for me. I know that now, and I also know that if we don't learn how to grow the stuff, we're toast. It is the foundation of all our human life on Earth. We cannot survive without it. The soil underneath our feet, you know, you look at everything in this room. You look at everything that you can eat, drink, touch, wear, whether it's plastic or wool, it all comes out of the ground. The floor, the ceiling, the steel, everything. So soil at base level, is the thing that we have to concentrate our efforts on repairing. Now, we can do that. It's not difficult. I said we're farming degraded land. That's the bad news. The good news is we can fix it. And we can fix it by using that nuclear reactor up in the sky. Now, the bulk of human beings on this planet look at the sun and it's either too hot or it's too cold. But the planet runs on the stuff. All we've got to know is how we harvest it. And I don't mean by turning to technology and creating photovoltaic cells with rare earth minerals and all that stuff. We turn to technology for everything because that's what we understand with our mechanistic minds. What we have to realize is that that nuclear reactor up in the sky is something that we can harvest through green plants at soil level. So, photosynthesis, which we learn about at school, and then we promptly forget about. I don't know, did everybody learn about photosynthesis? You know, people want solutions to climate change. That's the solution. It's already present. We don't have to invent it. It's free at the point of delivery. All we have to do is understand what we have to do to be able to take sunlight through green plants, turn the carbon and stuff that comes from the sun into carbohydrates, feeding down into grass roots and plant roots in the ground that feeds our soil biology. It's a symbiotic relationship between the living underground who need to be fed. They need carbohydrates, and they swap the carbohydrate for plant food. The little guys underground are continuously mining the mineral elements of the soil for plant food. All we have to do is feed them. They feed the plants feed the animals feed us. And there we come up against this business of animals, and whether the lobby that wants to get rid of them is worth listening to. We have this beautiful, beautiful system out there. It's self-regulating. It's perfectly synchronized. Spring, summer, autumn, winter, on time, without fail, never makes a mistake. Why would we not sit at its feet and learn about this magical thing called photosynthesis to feed soil biology, as well as recognizing that in order for that to happen, we have to have a component of animals in any farming operation that we undertake. If you look at the system we've got, if you look at a pie chart, animals would be a section of that pie chart. Take that section out of the system, you've no longer got a system. And I would propose that we need millions and millions more animals than we have at the moment. We need herbivores, and we need them all over the planet. We don't need them in sheds and in feedlots. We need them out in their natural environment, eating a species-appropriate diet. If we have that, we have a load of mobile four-legged biodigesters which contain all the microbes that are needed to kickstart the soil food web. So, I'm for more animals. I'm for producing cheap protein that's going to feed us all. You know, people say that modern agriculture will feed the world. Rubbish. Modern agriculture's success is predicated on the abundant, cheap fossil fuel that's been available to us for the last, 100 years? 150 years? We've just had a wake-up call. It's no longer available in the way that it was. And I think that the present, if you call it crisis, the present crisis is going to be the catalyst that's going to see the change that we need to see. But my job this afternoon is to tell you that the base level of what we need to be concentrating on is the foundation of all life on Earth, which is soil biology. My wife Julie is training as a soil biologist at the moment. She used to be a dentist. Pretty profound shift. And my mouth is getting horribly dry, and I haven't got a drink. we don't need water. So you know, we need to embrace this perfect system that we have. You know, I'm in awe and wonder at it every day of my life at the moment. You know, I wanted to pack up farming when I was 58. I did pack up farming, sold the farm, gave the money away to a linear family. And when we came up to Scotland, there were two things that my wife Ginny and I promised ourselves. One, that I'd never ever farm again. And two, that we wouldn't live on an island. So we failed miserably on both of them. So it's very simple. As human beings, I'm going to just turn to Alan Savory's book. Anybody know Alan Savory? You know, I could go on for. I'm glad I'm not going to. I could go on for hours with this stuff. But you know, you only have to look at us as human beings. We've got a mechanistic mind, and we have to get out of that. You know, we can build planes and cars and trains and ships, radio, television, telephones, satellites, weapons, conventional, nuclear, laser, electricity, solar, wind, fossils, spacecraft, computers, robots, building homes, churches, factories, home appliances, swimming pools, clothing, dams, power stations, medical brain scans, artificial limbs, eyeglasses, contact lenses, hearing aids, chemical fertilizers and pesticides. Now, you know, all of those things are complicated, but the wonderful thing for us as in our mechanistic mindsets is if they break, we can fix them. On the other side, that's the hard technology. The soft technology, which is what I'm really talking about with things like soil biology, are things that are so complex that the human mind can't compass it. We will never understand all of it. You know, this intelligent system that we live in is wise beyond belief. We live and we don't notice it, but it's hugely intelligent and it has all the wisdom that we would ever need to thrive on this planet. We've just got to sit at its feet and listen. Right, the other side is the soft technology. Croplands, grasslands, forests, air quality, fisheries, water supplies and quality, economics and finance and politics, wildlife, institutions and organisations, human relations and human health. Are we good at that stuff? No, we're not. We make a horrible mess of it all because of its complexity. What holistic management does is gives us the tools to deal with that complexity and make sure that all the decisions that we make day to day are economically, socially and environmentally sound. And all the decisions we make at home have to go through 7 testing questions. And if we get no to any of the testing questions, we have to go back to the drawing board, because if we continue with a decision that doesn't have that 3-legged stool, we wind up with unintended consequences down the track. And I'm living with the unintended consequences of what I did when I was 17 years old in 1962, getting into the modern agriculture of the day. You know, we saw increases in production of 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold. I don't know how many 100-fold it was, but we were very, very good at our job. But we trashed our base asset. And that was down to soil biology. So we don't need fertilizers, we don't need pesticides, we don't need herbicides and growth regulators and desiccants. I mean, when you say it, it doesn't sound right, does it? So I would like to leave you with just the thought that soil biology is at the heart, is at the very foundation of our existence. And if you go away with nothing else today, know that soil biology is one of the most important things. And that is unseen. 10 times the volume and weight of life underground than there is above ground. Would you believe that? But it's unseen, so we don't notice it. Nobody sees it, so we ignore it. Well, it's time to stop ignoring it and get serious about